This video is an introduction to random forests. For in-depth understanding, please refer to the links in the description. A big part of machine learning is classification. That is, we want to know what class an observation belongs to. The ability to precisely classify observations is extremely valuable for various business applications like predicting whether a particular user will buy a product or not, or whether a loan has to be given to a person or not. In this video, we'll talk about the random forest classifier. Random forest is a flexible, easy to use machine learning algorithm that produces, even without hyperparameter tuning, a great result most of the time. It is also one of the most used algorithms because of its simplicity and diversity. It can be used for both classification and regression. So, before learning about random forest, one must know how decision trees work. So, make sure that you know what are decision trees before watching this video. You can find a very good explanation of decision trees in the link in the description. So, let's start. What are random forests? Random forest is a supervised learning algorithm. The forest it builds is an ensemble or a group of decision trees, usually trained with the bagging method. We'll talk about bagging a little late in the video. The general idea of bagging method is that a combination of learning models increases the overall result. Now let's see what this means in simple layman terms. Random forests build multiple decision trees and merges them together to get a more accurate and stable prediction. Each individual tree in the random forest spits out a class prediction, and the class with the most votes becomes our model's prediction. In the figure, 6 decision trees predict 1 and 1 predicts a 0. Hence, the final prediction of the classifier is 1. Now, the fundamental concept behind random forest is a simple but a powerful one: the wisdom of crowds. Now, what does that mean? A large number of relatively uncorrelated modules or decision trees operating as a committee will outperform any of the individual constituent models or individual decision trees. This is the most fundamental concept in random forests. The low correlation between models is the key. The reason for this wonderful effect is that the trees protect each other from the individual errors. While some trees may be wrong, many other trees will be right. So as a group of trees are able to move in the correct direction. Now let's see how the random forest algorithm works. First, create a bootstrapped dataset by randomly selecting a samples from the original data set. We can pick the same sample more than once. Then create a decision tree using the bootstrap dataset, but only use a random subset of columns in each step. Now go back to step 1 and repeat. Make a new bootstrap dataset and build a tree considering a subset of variables at each step. This results in a wide variety of trees. Now, the variety is what makes random forests more effective than individual decision trees. Now, how do we measure or ensure that the trees diversify each other? Bagging helps us here. Bootstrapping the data and using the aggregate to make a decision is known as bagging. Random forest takes advantage of this by allowing each individual tree to randomly sample from the dataset with replacement, resulting in different trees. Next is feature randomness. Each tree in a random forest can pick only from a random subset of features. In a normal decision tree, when it is time to split a node, we consider every possible feature and pick the one that produces the separation between the observation in the left node versus those in the right node. In contrast, each tree is a random forest can pick only from a random subset of features. This forces even more variation amongst the trees in the model and ultimately results in lower correlation across trees and more diversification. So, since we are selecting random features in multiple decision trees, they ensure that this will diversify all of the decision trees when combined together. Now, how do we implement this? For the implementation, we have two choices. We can either use the Scikit-Learn library to import the random forest model and use it directly, or we can write our own model from scratch. We will implement random forest using Scikit-Learn. Let's start with defining a problem now. The task here is to predict whether a bank currency note is authentic or not based on four attributes, which are the variance of the image, wavelet transformed image, skewness, entropy, and kurtosis of the image. This is a binary classification problem, and we will use a random forest classifier to solve this problem. Now, for the dataset, you can download and learn more about the dataset from the link in the description. Let's start with importing the required libraries. Unlike my previous implementations where I import all the libraries at once, this time I'll import the library only when it is required. So initially we need NumPy and pandas library to handle the data. So let's start with that. Let's import pandas as pd and import NumPy as np and let that run and we're good to go. Now let's import the data set into our code. So data set equal to pandas.read csv is the name of the function, and the name of the csv file is build authentication.csv. And I think I'm right here. Let me just check. Yes, awesome. Now let's get a high level view of the data set, and let's do that by executing the following command. So dataset.head, and as you know, we can see the first five rows of the data set, and you can see the variance, the skewness, kurtosis, entropy, and the class. Now here when you see the first five rows, you can see that the values in the data set are not very well scaled, so we will have to scale the data before training it. So to do all of that, let's divide the data set into x and y variables, which are the attributes and the labels. So x is going to be dataset.alloc to separate the values, and let's do 0 to 4 so that it's 0 to 3, and fourth is the class from 0 indexing, and we need the values, and let y be equal to dataset.alloc, and we just need the last index, which is 4. So as these follow 0 indexing, we need the first 4 columns 0 to 3, which is variance, skewness, kurtosis, and entropy in the x variable, and the last column, the fourth column, class in the y variable. Okay. After this, let's divide the dataset into a train and test split. So for that, we'll need the train test split module from Scikit-Learn. So Scikit-Learn dot model selection, we import train, test, and split. Now let's have our variables ready. So let's train, x test, y train, and y test, and let's give a function call here. So x and y, let the test size be 20%, so test size equal to 0.2, and we don't need a random state, so let's put that to 0. I think we're good to go. Let me just check back again, and yep, we have an error. So test size, it shouldn't be test, it should be test size. Sorry about that. Yeah, and we're good to go. So next, let's apply some feature scaling on our data so that the data can be really scaled and proper when we actually train it. So for that, we need something from the pre-processing module of Scikit-Learn. So Scikit-Learn dot pre-processing, import standard scalar. Then let's scale both xtrain and xtest. So let's call the class first and make an object. So we have sc as the object, and now let's scale xtrain first. Sc dot fit transform x train, and x test is equal to sc dot fit transform x test. And now we have scaled a data set. We can train a random forest to solve this classification problem. Let's do that with the random forest classifier. So we can get that from the Scikit-Learn ensemble module. So ensemble. So since random forest is an ensemble of many decision trees, the ensemble module will contain the random forest classifier. Random forest classifier. And then let's make this ready, make the class ready. So let's say classifier is equal to random forest classifier, and first we need the n estimators, so the n decision trees. Let's say we have 20 of those, then a random state of 0 again, after which we are going to fit our classifier. So classifier dot fit x train comma y train, and let's actually save our predictions somewhere. So classifier dot predict x test. Awesome. And let's see what the errors are. So I think I have some uh, error here. So from Scikit-Learn dot random forest classifier cannot be named. So let me just see what the error is. Oh, I see it. There has to be a capital F. Sorry about that. And yeah, we're good to go. Now the random forest classifier takes in n estimators as a parameter. The parameter defines the number of trees in a random forest, and we are using 20 trees here. So for classification problems, the metrics used to evaluate algorithms are accuracy, confusion matrix, precision, recall, and F1 values. Luckily, the Scikit-Learn library provides all these metrics out of the box. So let's actually use these metrics to see how good our model performed on this data set. So from sklearn dot metrics module, we're going to import a few things. So classification report is going to be the first thing. Confusion matrix is next, and we need the accuracy to see how good our model is. And let's just print all of them now. So confusion matrix is first, and y test, y spread. Next is the classification report. So classification report, again y test and y predicted, and the last is the accuracy score for the same parameters. And let's see how this works. And again we have some errors here, so let's solve them. Cannot import confusion, so you have to stop misspelling things, Ronak. Yes. So as you can see at the last print accuracy score, our accuracy is 98%, so that is good enough. And we can see the other metrics that are used for classification problems. So this was a very simple implementation of random forest with minimum data processing. Now what you can do is practice more on Kaggle on a real life data set which deals with more data processing, which can help you understand how a data scientist works. Thank you.